rats, and I know this is not for public comments right now, but it's been really traumatizing living there. And I want to advocate for the tenants and for the people around there. The greater Pearl City, the whole Boca Raton, we could all make a change and we could all unite together and do it together. And that's all I want to say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Martin, St. Martin. Have you attended any of the Boca Raton Housing Authority meetings?
Yes.
Okay, and you pretty much answered the other questions when you were talking, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other applicants present? So, Professor Graves, pardon me? No, I'm just making sure. I'm just calling out. We had Professor Graves and Ms. Clay. Okay,
Mr. Graves.
Sorry, Ms. Drucker.
Mr. Graves submitted an application.
Yes.
Because he's had foot surgery.
Yes.
So he wasn't going to appear.
Right. Yes. There was a possibility he would be, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't see. We have a full room, and we're happy to have it. All right. If there's no other applicants here, let's have some council discussion because this is an unusual one. You know, one of the things that I thought was important was getting more, and I think we all talked about, was getting more representation of people who are serviced by the Housing Authority. Mm-hmm. And we actually have some applicants, you know, it's Dixie Manor is just one of the three groups. You also have Boca Isles East, and we have 2 applicants from there. We also have Section 8, and we heard one applicant, although she's not a city resident. So she's not currently receiving Section 8 services through the Boca Raton Housing Authority. If we're going to really talk about diversity, I think we ought to make sure that we have some other representation. So with that, I think, you know, having an applicant, at least from Boca Isles East, and then you know, given the absence of Section 8, then we'd go back to another one at Dixie Manor. I would put forward the names of Fabiola Bernier, who's been here many times, and Dr. Hashmi, who came yesterday and lived here, I was looking, 10 years. So, Mr. Thomson?
I agree with those names. Could I add a couple more? Mr. Graves, Dr. Graves has applied for this board before and has a wealth of knowledge as it relates to our city, so I would nominate him, as well as Ms. Smith, who spoke here tonight.
That's fine. And I appreciate them, too. I was trying to put forward, I wanted to give you my 2 because as much as I appreciate Dr. Graves, and he's come here before, I thought getting more tenant voices would help, or resident voices there would help. So that's what, but you have 2 other names there. Any other names you want to put forward?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would put forth Jolene St. Martin.
Okay. All right. Any other names? And I want to thank everyone. Rarely, you know, in the past, we haven't always had applicants for this board. Now that we have a good deal of interest, we appreciate that people want to get involved, and there's other ways to do so. So with that, I guess, Ms. Siddons, would you please call the roll, and when your name is called, vote for 2 people.
Keep in mind that one of these terms is going to be expiring in 2023, and one expires in 2024. So if you want to go through the first round, and then we'll...
Yes, let's do it that way, please.
Okay. Mayor Singer?
Bernier and Hashmi, please.
Deputy Mayor O'Rourke?
Bernier and St. Martin.
Councilmember Drucker?
I'm going to go with, hold on one second. I'm doing Bernier and Hashmi.
Councilmember Mayotte?
I'm going to go with Bernier and St. Martin.
Councilmember Thomson?
Graves and Hashmi.
In the voting, Fabiola Bernier received 4 votes, Adel Hashmi received 3 votes, Jolene St. Martin received 2, and Charles Graves received 1. Therefore, Fabiola Bernier and Adel Hashmi are appointed. Do you want to go through another round of voting for the 2023? And
Instead, I'm going to suggest that Ms. Bernier, since she got more votes, get the longer term. Do we have an agreement on that? Mm-hmm. All right, by consensus. Well, thank you all for your applications. Congratulations. We appreciate your service and your interest and coming here tonight. You can stay as long as you want. You're welcome. The meeting's here. Sometimes some people leave after their board is called, but we're happy to have you here anyway.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry.
Ms. O'Rourke.
I just want to say to all of you who applied, and you know what a nice, robust list of applicants that care about the community. Please go to the Housing Authority meetings. Even if you're not on the board specifically, your voice should be heard there as your voice was heard here. So make sure you stay tuned, stay involved, and And, you know, this is a great group of advocacy for your neighborhood. So I really hope that you continue to attend the meetings.
Great, thank you, as do we all. So thank you. We'll turn to the Citizens Pedestrian and Bikeway Advisory Board. I believe we only have still one applicant. So one applicant, one vacancy. Mr. Greenberg interviewed yesterday. Council members, what's your pleasure? Mr. Thompson?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we appoint Mr. Greenberg to the Citizens Pedestrian and Bikeway Advisory Board.
Thank you.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Second by Ms. Mayotte. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
He is approved. We'll turn to the Environmental Advisory Board. Do we have any applicants present tonight for the EAB? Yes, we do. Welcome. Looking for you.
Hello, my name is Margaret Horty, 2299 Northeast 4th Way, Boca Raton. I currently serve on the EAB. I was appointed in July, so I'm seeking reappointment because I filled a vacancy for someone that had left their term early. I am a Boca Raton native, and I work in environmental science. I've done over a decade's worth of environmental assessments in South Florida and internationally, and I would love the chance to serve on the board again.
Thank you. Council members, any questions? Thank you for your interest in continuing to serve. Any other applicants? Mr. Newman? Is Mr. Newman here? All right, I don't believe we've received any other applications. So, council members, we have 3 vacancies, 2 applicants, 2 incumbents, Ms. Horty and Mr. Newman. What's your pleasure? Ms. O'Rourke?
Mr. Mayor, I would nominate Ms. Horty and Mr. Newman.
Can we turn that into a
We
motion?
can turn that into a motion to approve.
Great, thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mayotte. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations and thank you. We'll turn to the Financial Advisory Board. I believe we had 2 applicants, both of whom we interviewed yesterday, Mr. Fields and Mr. Winstead. No other applicants present? Then we have 1 vacancy. Council members, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Kenneth Fields.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Brad Winstead.
All right, very good. They're both there. I'll say I appreciate 2 people there. I'm going to be voting for Ken Fields. It's rare that we have a former city manager who wants to serve on this board, and I think that's, while I appreciate both people's perspective, for me that's a more unique one, so that's why I'd like to see people involved, but for that one I'll be voting for Fields. And any further discussion? All right, then Ms. Siddons, please.
Deputy Mayor O'Rourke,
Fields.
Councilmember Drucker,
Fields.
Councilmember Mayotte,
Fields.
Councilmember Thompson,
Winstead.
Mayor Singer.
Fields.
Kenneth Fields received 3 votes, Brad Winstead received 2, therefore Kenneth Fields is appointed to the Financial Advisory Board.
Thank you. Library Board, I don't believe we have any applicants. None received. We'll hold that over to next time. And the Permitting and Construction Review Board, again, we are looking for 2 experts, or not experts, but practitioners in the architectural field and electrical engineering field. This is an important board. They will help do work with our new building recertification ordinance. So please, if you know people in those fields who want to serve, I'm looking at one who served many times in the past, please consider applying. So that concludes our board appointments. We'll turn to responses to workshop information requests. Mr. Arnell?
Thank you. We had no follow-up items from yesterday's workshop for this evening.
Very good. We'll turn to the consent agenda. Would any council member wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, would any member of the public wish to comment on only the consent agenda items? We will have public comment, public requests later in the meeting. This is only on the consent agenda. Seeing no one come forward, we will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Mayotte, second by Ms. O'Rourke. Any further discussion? Then Ms. Siddons, please.
Singer,
Yes.
O'Rourke,
Yes.
Mayotte,
Yes.
Drucker,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5 votes to 0.
Very well. We'll now turn to quasi-judicial and related public hearings. And Ms. Siddons, would you please read the title of Resolution 32-2022?
Resolution number 32, 2022. A resolution of the City of Boca Raton considering for the property generally located at 6401, 6405, 6409, 6413, and 6421 Congress Avenue. 1. An amendment to an approved Planned Mobility Development, PMD, Master Plan, Resolution number 137, 2020, to increase the square footage of the 277-unit multifamily residential project and parking structure, increase the height of the parking structure, reduce the number of parking spaces provided, make related site modifications and other minor site modifications, and eliminate a requirement to construct a deceleration lane. 2, site plan approval to authorize development of the 277-unit multifamily residential project. And 3, the abandonment of portions of a 12-foot water and sewer easement and a 12-foot sewer easement, providing for appealer, providing an effective date.
Thank you. And at this point, I'll ask the city attorney to review the quasi-judicial procedure that will govern tonight's public hearing.
Thank you. The following quasi-judicial proceedings will be handled in accordance with all applicable laws, including the provisions of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Boca Raton. Each applicant requesting approval, relief, or other action from the City Council shall disclose at the commencement or continuance of the public hearing any consideration provided or committed directly or on its behalf for an agreement to support or withhold objection to the requested relief or action. A summary of the procedures is attached to the City Council agenda, and a copy of same can be obtained from the City Clerk.
Very well. At this point, we'll ask council members to disclose any ex parte communications. I'll start with Mr. Thomson.
Mr. Mayor, I had a discussion with the attorney for the applicant, Ellie Zacharias, I believe it was yesterday. I've gotten many emails over time from the Ungen family who owns the property next door, and I received an email, as I think we all did, from an attorney for the Ungens. I believe that was yesterday, and I think that concludes my ex parte disclosures.
Thank you. Ms. Rourke?
I have the exact same ex parte.
Thank you. Ms. Drucker?
I have the exact same ex parte, except I spoke to Ellie Zacharias today,
Thank
not
you.
yesterday.
Thank you. Ms. Mayotte?
The same, and in addition, I also had I had a Zoom call with Ms. Zacharias on Friday and a follow-up phone call today, but the same emails that Mr. Thompson referred to I've received also.
Thank you. And mine are the same as Ms. Drucker's in that I spoke to Ms. Zacharias about this today. And in addition, I've spoken with Mr. Jonathan Ungen a number of times, most recently yesterday, about this matter. So that concludes my ex parte disclosures, and I believe everyone. So at this point, we'll ask anyone who wishes to speak on this matter to please stand and rise so the clerk can administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you may give during this public hearing will be truthful and accurate? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arnell.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the council. Ms. Rahman, your Chief Planner for Development Services, will make the presentation this evening regarding Resolution 32-2022. It's your agenda item number 10A.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. My name is Tamash bin Rahman, Chief Planner for Development Services. Tonight, I'm presenting the AMTAC Plan Mobility Development Master Plan Amendment and Site Plan Approval for the addresses listed on this slide. The subject site is located at the southwest corner of Northwest 65th Street and Congress Avenue. It has a zoning of light industrial research park, a land use designation of planned mobility, and an acreage of 21.35 acres. This is a request to amend a previously approved PMD master plan, resolution number 137-2020, with a site plan approval along with the abandonment of a water and sewer easement and a sewer easement. The previously approved master plan was for an 8-story residential building with 277 units that was approximately 331,810 square feet. There was also a 6-story parking structure that was approved with 591 spaces. The City Council also approved a waiver from the platting requirement since the site was previously platted and is served by roads and infrastructure, along with the modification of development parameters to eliminate a required sidewalk on the north side of the project entrance. I will go over those details later on as part of this presentation, along with 2 variations from the city's engineering design standards manual, which I'll also discuss. So the requested modifications with this application is to provide a parking deck on the 6th floor of the parking structure. This will increase the height of the parking structure from 52 feet to 62 feet, with an increase of square footage of approximately 17,700 square feet. The applicant's also proposing the addition of a gate within the 2nd floor of the parking structure. There's a change in the mix of unit types, so the number of units with 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, without increasing the total number of units, which remains 277 units. The residential building will be approximately 4,700 square feet larger compared to the previous PMD master plan approval. The applicant's also proposing a reduction of open space of approximately 726 square feet, and the removal of a previously approved deceleration lane into the main project entrance due to right-of-way limitations on Congress Avenue, which is a Palm Beach County road. The applicant is proposing the addition of 5 reserved parking spaces for future tenant parking on the first floor